But what is the best way to sell big government and then world government to a people like ours, historically devoted to an independent republic of limited powers? The answer is simple. In revolutionary literature, the tactic is known as pressure from above and below. It's the strategy that Colonel House laid down in his book, Philip Drew, Administrator. Deliberately create problems, and then offer only those solutions that result in the expansion of government. Create conditions so frightful at home and abroad that the abandonment of personal liberties and national sovereignty will appear as a reasonable price for a return to domestic tranquility and world peace. If those who seek world dominion can stimulate leftist mobs into violent confrontation with local law enforcement, and also provide exhaustive news coverage so that the entire nation can see and tremble, then the peaceful and freedom-loving majority can be programmed to accept a vast expansion of government powers and even a national police force, offered supposedly to end the violence. If those who seek world dominion can raise the specter of an enemy armed to the teeth with superior atomic weapons on the verge of launching a nuclear holocaust, and also offer world government as the prevention, then millions of Americans can be programmed to accept the loss of national sovereignty as our last best hope for peace. This is the meaning of pressure from above and below. To put over police-state measures at home, they need chaos, crime, and anarchy in the streets. To sell the idea of world government, they need the constant threat of nuclear war. Or, as they say in revolutionary circles, the real action is in the reaction.
Shalom, giving all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Chakmadash, double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who teach it well, taught us this truth. Shalom to the elect, 144,000 first and foremost, pushing this truth in all sincerity in the four quarters of the earth. Hey, I'm your brother Tabal Yakwana, coming at you with another quick one, Lord willing, it's edifying. In the beginning, I'm going to put a clip that speaks on, pressure from above, pressure from below. Classic clip of the definition of this pressure from above and pressure from below. It speaks about the exhaustive measures that this devil pushes on the people to exhaust them, to wear them out, by way of propaganda, the media, which we know is an extension of Esau's sword. We know that Esau was blessed with the sword. Genesis 27 chapter speaks about that. Ultimately, his sword goes into his weapons. And ultimately, the nuclear missiles that he's going to use in vain, because as it's written, the beast shall hate the horde. So the rest of these nations, as it's also written, let the weak say I'm strong. The rest of these nations, including the 10 horns, they're going to get their sword together, if you will, and burn this whore, which is America. All right. That whore that rides the beast back, that beast being NATO and the EU, that whole conglomerate being the revival of the ancient Roman Empire. I'm gonna burn this whore with fire, nuclear fire, and she's also going to be burned by the concentrated laser fire of the chariots. But this is Revelation 13 and verse 11. Says, and I beheld another beast. That other beast is the revival of the Roman Empire, coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb. Two horns goes into his two-party system, being today is the Democrats and the Republicans. In ancient times, it was ancient Rome. It was Flavians and the patricians. So that's going on to this day. It's just another way of identifying that just another piece of evidence showing that we're in the revival of the ancient Roman Empire all over again. All right, the revival of the ancient Roman Empire. And it says, and he spake as a dragon. All right, the dragon, speaking as a dragon. Well, before that, it says like a lamb. So he's disguised as peace, but he's speaking as a dragon right now, man. Draconian measures, man. Trump, which we believe is Nero, Emperor Nero coming back in reincarnation. Reincarnation is a biblical fact. All right. And we believe that he's is Nero, Emperor Nero. So we call him Nero 47, right? Being that 47th president of America, which is again Babylon the Great, spiritually Sodom and Egypt. He's using. So like I forgot my point real quick. He's using well the elites, which are the wicked. Well, Esau Edom is the wicked, but it starts with his elites, man, his top bankers. All right, they're using him to push forth, these draconian measures. All right, you saw that he signed all these executive orders in his second term when he first came in, like a record number of executive orders. So right now, these things are playing out. They're like cards. He can throw them out at any time. There already is I say set them up and knock them down, man. So he already set up all these executive orders, to be played out by this system or this administration in these times, man. But verse 12, Revelation 13 and 12, and he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast. All right, that first beast, the Roman Empire, whose deadly wound was healed. All right, so it was healed in the Renaissance age. All right, came back. Verse 13, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. That goes into his part of his sword, his bombs, his missiles, and deceiveth them. Right, he's a great deceiver, man. I like to go into that scripture, Psalms 5 and 6. We don't have to grab it, but it just goes into how the Lord abhors the bloody and deceitful man. All right, that speaks leasing or lies, and that's Esau. All right, it says, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles. His miracles go into his technologies. Right now you got AI. There's a metric. This guy Patrick Wood brought it out. One of his he was talking on AI.gov. See, they got this whole thing is, this whole AI thing is not just it's just not just a query or an app or whatever, man. This thing is it's a global, I don't even know what you got. It's almost like a virus, technological virus taking over the whole world, man. It's in governments. All right, and he said in the metric that every 4.5 months, AI would double. We know the AI of what we know of it first kind of hit the scene, I think, last year, the beginning of last year. So we're halfway through this year, a little over halfway through this year. So that's like 18 months. So that's like, about 4 to 5 times of doubling of AI. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's exponential growth. As the scriptures say, man, no flesh shall be saved. So yeah, they unleashed this thing on the whole earth, and it's you can see already the damage of it on a physical level by way of it's draining rivers and water, consuming water, and it's draining the people. And it's used really to corral the consciousness of the people. I say that a lot, but yeah, it's like a lasso on the consciousness of the whole people. He's trying to collect the consciousness of the world. You know, as I said, he sits in the seat of God, showing that he is God, roughly paraphrase. You know, Esau's got a God complex. Okay, so back to Revelation 13 and 14, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles by which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. All right, that's going back into that deadly wound that was healed. It says, verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, and the image of the beast, and that the image of the beast, the Roman system, all right, that image, should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Okay, so you go buck up against this system, you're going to be destroyed, really spiritually, I mean, as it's written, the beast would wear out the saints. We're getting worn out, man. Okay, especially those in the truth, worn out, watching all this abomination hitting the scene, man, because none of it really gets dealt with. You got the Epstein files and the alphabet community, and you got the destruction of the air, water, and earth. I mean, just so many things you can't even keep up with it, man. So, yeah, that clip was talking about the exhaustive measures, or the exhausting the people, and it's just that pressure from above and pressure from below. We know ultimately that it's gonna come to a head. This pressure is gonna come to a head. The scriptures speak about how it would be sedition of men. Let me grab that real quick. All right, 2 Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right, so, the uprising of the people, and that clip spoke about it. And this is what the elites want as well, but we know that the king's heart is in the Lord's hand. So the Lord is really just exposing this devil's plans, of his NWO, as it's written, in Job 20 and 22, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him when he is about to fill his belly. His belly is his plan, his NWO. The Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. Right, he's going to be destroyed. Okay. So 1 Thessalonians 5 and 3, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So this is what he's trying to set up. He's trying to set up a new world government, by way of, that order out of chaos, that pressure from above, pressure from below, that Hegelian dialectic on the people. All right. So when he finally pacifies these people with ultimately that C-hip tries to, the Lord is going to rain all holy hell upon this devil, man. Hey, so Lord willing, that was edifying. Giving all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh Shem, Shabbat Shem, Shalom to you.